Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. All right, coming to you today with lesson 3. All right, and this is different forms of sales funnels. So in this lesson, we'll go through some of the different forms of sales funnels and why you would have them. But also what we'll go through, we'll only look at 3 of the main funnels that I personally use, and I don't think you really need too much outside of this because this sets up pretty much 80% of the majority of businesses and sales processes. If you've got a very, very unique sales process, or you've got a very, very specific requirements around how you sell, will determine the types of funnels that you build out. But for the average day small business owner, with these 3 funnels, you'll be able to sell any product to any person. And well, not any person, but it'll basically show you how to qualify your buyers, position your offer and services and products, and then basically convert at a much higher percentage than your competition. So how do we do this? Simplicity. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. Simplicity is key. We do not want to overwhelm our buyer. And what we want to do is we want to curate a set of events where the likelihood of a buyer purchasing is high. Okay, so we want to map out what are the key things that buyer has to go through before they say, yes, I'm ready to buy. The easiest way is they got to know, like, and trust you. They got to know, like, and trust your product. They got to know, like, and trust your business. So with that said, the 3 forms of sales funnels are lead generation, meeting booking, and selling. So a sales page. Now, the key for this is the journey. Okay, so I'm a lead. I come in. I wouldn't mind learning how to earn my income goals. We've got enough information here to learn how to earn. So bang, we click the button and we're there. So there's nowhere I can get lost on this funnel. If I roll down and then I roll back up, I'm there. So there's nowhere for the lead to go but forward or backwards. Backwards is them qualifying themselves out of your buying process, or your buying cycle, whatever you want to call it. And progressing forward moves to the next stage. So the next stage is to book the meeting. So what we do in this is the whole goal of this funnel is for the lead magnet to be valuable enough for the purchaser or the buyer to progress to the next stage. And then what we want to do is we want to create a valuable offer where they progress to the next stage. So we've got some information about the software, and we've got the 60-minute free one-on-one funnel building workshop. Okay, so it's not about overwhelming the buyer, and it's about just putting a little bit of information and how we display the information. Now, it doesn't have to be unique. We can use the same information, the same hooks, the same descriptions, if you call it that, like whatever it may be. You don't have to reinvent the boat or reinvent the wheel every time you progress through your sales funnel. So we want them to be congruent with one another to where it's 1, 2, 3. So that's the thing. For the majority of buyers, when we're setting up these different forms of sales funnels as well, a key thing to remember is we're not setting up sales funnels for our most difficult buyers, because that would be ridiculous. We set it up for our ideal client. And then what we want to do is we want to try and turn every client into our ideal client, one that moves through the process, one that follows the process, one that trusts us. Okay, so we can see different activities need to be done. So first, we've got to capture their lead data. Then we got to capture their interest in a one-on-one meeting. And then we got to get them over to sign up. All right. So that's pretty simple, pretty easy. How we will present the data display-wise is something that's always up to testing. So we want to get it up there, and then we want to just test and measure, test and measure, test and measure to make sure that we've got the most accurate information in the buyer's mind, so that we've got a curated event where a new lead comes in, fills out their details, jumps over here, has a look. That's some pretty cool stuff. And then jumps over here, has a look. That's some awesome stuff. So while not every buyer will progress straight through, some of them will get to this stage, they'll fill out this stage, get to this stage, and they'll drop off. Some will fill out this, and then they'll get to this stage and they'll drop off. So at each stage, because they're individual funnels, we can track and measure them independent of one another, but also in conjunction with each other. So that's very, very important, because it allows us to understand, well, what type of buyers don't want to have a free one-on-one workshop? What kind of buyers who understand the value of the product being sold, have done the one-on-one sales presentation where we've explained the value in depth, and we've sort of overcome their objections and all of that and shown them that they could do it, and then they get to here. So it allows us to align our marketing, but also to segregate our marketing to where I have specific marketing for my lead magnet leads. When they come through and they become a meeting booked, I have a different marketing lead. When they come through and they become a customer, I have a different marketing campaign that runs. So the key is each of these funnels will have associated activities that are looking to optimize it. So while we're optimizing the sales funnel, we're also optimizing our processes around them. Okay. And it may be a little bit complicated at the moment, but as we progress through, you'll sort of start to pick up an understanding that, well, one, it doesn't really matter what you put up. Okay. There's no wrong sales funnel. Succeeding in business is just being above subpar. So it's not a high barrier for us to get across, because you got to remember, a lot of people in business optimize their website for complexity. So they want to have the most complex and the most visually, appealing and this and that. And they've got all these bells and whistles on their website, which are irrelevant. What matters is, what is the information being presented? How is the information being presented? And what is the offer? They're the only three factors that matter, because they're the three factors that will influence the decision making. Now, what do I mean by that? So we've got video content. That's how is it presented. We've got written content. How is it presented? We've got our information, okay, which helps understand, well, what is the functionality and utility of each of these aspects or benefits of the software. And then we come down to the offer. So the offer is very, very important. So with my offer, for example, you get full account setup. That's included. And then you get a choice. Would you like more leads in your business, or would you like more sales in your business? Okay. And what we've done is we've optimized it to where it's clear and concise in terms of price. We know what the software does. Okay. We understand what the offer entails, and we've got a lot of information around what we would be paying and what we are paying. We've got supporting blogs. which will drive traffic to the sales funnel, but it also allows people, if they needed some more information, this is where you can have supporting information. Okay, so it's quite important to understand that. But these are just 3 of the most utilized well, not utilized, but these 3 types of sales funnels have the most utility because they piggyback one off the other. Lead comes in, moves to the next stage, moves to the next stage. And what we're doing is, instead of us saying like, hey, give us your information, okay, would you like a free course? Put in your information to get it. Would you like a free one-on-one workshop? Put in your information to get it. Would you like your full account set up and either a lead generation strategy or a sales optimization strategy? Put in your details to it to access. So what we're doing is we're offering something of high value, and then we're saying you have to take this action to receive it, rather than saying, hey, take this action and I'll give you value. So it's a little bit different in how we position our buyer with the ask. But throughout the whole process, we're constantly asking them to take an action. And we're getting them used to taking action, which means by the time they get to the end, the likelihood that they take action will be higher. So there's a lot around sales psychology that you can look at and that you can implement in. There's a lot of research on the psychology of colors. There's a lot of research on the psychology of pricing. There's a lot of research being done on the psychology of presenting data. So understanding this just allows you to understand the impact. There's even studies on the psychology behind fonts, which is awesome, and letter sizing. So you got to understand, like, when we're getting into optimization, there is a million different things that we can do. Okay, but we don't want to try and do them before we've got anything to market. Okay, we don't want to optimize until we understand, well, if this is the base level, how is it going to perform? How is it performing? Where would we, need to do? Like, maybe we need to expand on the information about the product and the features and the benefits. Maybe we need to expand the offer, or maybe we need to position our ask differently in terms of how we do it. So, like, for example, maybe we want to have this before the offer. Okay, like, how do you want to present your information to your buyers is an important thing to understand. Okay, because this will determine how well your sales funnel performs. But the other thing to remember is, no matter where you are on the page, my goal is to get you here. The whole goal of this page is this contact form. This is the action that needs to be taken. Everything else is in support of this action being taken. Okay, so when we understand it like that, it's a lot simpler, because we know that on the lead magnet, I have to make sure that the lead magnet's valuable enough to get their details. On the meeting booking, I have to make sure that the meeting has enough value that someone wants to show. On the sales page, I have to make sure that the ask of $297 a month is less than the offer of the setup. So, for example, lead generation, sales optimization, anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a month is the value of those. Setting up the account, generally about $2,000 to $4,000 is what you'd be looking at. Now, majority of competing businesses will be doing similar, but it doesn't change the fact that while other people may value their products lower than you value your products or services, doesn't mean that the value is lower and that you're overcharging. So the value you give yourself in your product or your service is independent to you. If someone wants to go and compare between you and another, this is why we create these offers, okay, where we create an irresistible offer in terms of anyone can sell the software, okay? Majority of people can set it up. Some people may be able to do lead generation. Some people may be able to do sales optimization. But to have all three aspects in the one offer, not many people will have that together, okay? So that's an important thing to understand, is when we're building out our offer, we can either look to do what others are doing, or we can do more than others, which is pretty important. But basically, by you creating an offer that is unique to you and your business and your product or service, will allow you to differentiate and separate yourself from the rest. All right. So this has just been a little bit on 3 different forms of funnels. There are many other forms of funnels as well that you can do. You can pretty much do them for anything. Think about this. Action you want a buyer to take, and then build out the information to support that action being taken. So, for example, if you wanted people to book into a webinar, action. What information do they need? What value do you have to create? What utility do you have to demonstrate? What is the drivers that are going to cause your buyer to progress through and say, this sounds like the deal for me? Okay. So it's quite important. But if you notice, compared to a website, step 1, step 2, step 3, clear, concise, easy to take actions. Get the course, book the meeting, get the product. So we're not doing too many different things. We don't have much in the way for the buyers to move along and move around, which is quite good. And we've just got everything that we need for the buyer to make the decision. We've got different color codings on the, on the text, which allows to segment up specific things, but we're also able to utilize psychology a bit. Red is negative, blue is neutral, green is good, or green is positive. All right. Well, you have a great day, and I will see you on the next one. All right. Have a great day. Bye.